Hello and welcome to the After Work Anime Club, our second ever live stream of this event. This is a weekly podcast where us three adults and good friends, aka weeaboomers, as I have learned we are called. By the way, guys, we're weeaboomers.
Thanks, I
I
hate it.
accept this.
I love it. But we watch an anime. Each week we usually watch about 4 episodes of the anime and then we talk about it. We give our opinions. We share our opinions with you. If you're here to watch us, you might get to share your opinions as well with us. We may or may not answer you. It depends on how we feel. I am Lulu's Soul. I am one of the co-hosts. I also stream other places. I stream art and video games. And I am joined by...
I am Yami Breck. I stream D&D art and video games, mostly just video games lately because art has escaped me. Also, I'm everyone's mom. Not everyone here, but everyone.
You're
else
not my
on the internet,
mom.
it seems. Yeah.
Mostly because I think I'm older than you, but you know.
It doesn't matter. There's people who are older than me who call me mom now.
That's amazing.
I didn't know if you were going to keep going or not. But hi, I'm Hatter. I'm the shark with the top hat. I don't stream, but I play video games and I watch anime.
And oh
What's
boy.
the current video game?
Oh yeah.
Currently, I have gotten back into, go figure, an MMO.
What?
All right. Which one?
Have you heard of the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy XIV?
Yes!
Oh my god. I tried to play it. I couldn't get into it. And then I tried again and couldn't get into it.
It's not for everybody. It's got a very slow start, but the payoff is kind of insane.
To be fair, there's only one MMO that ever really captured me, and it doesn't exist anymore. So,
Ooh, what
Well,
was
now I
it?
want to know.
oh well, it was Shin Megami Tensei Imagine
There was a Shin
that's
Megami Tensei anime?
MMO.
MMO.
Oh, well, we know there was an anime. Shut up! Anyway, forewarning anyone who might be watching, no, I am not drunk. I exist.
I feel that.
But speaking of, today's anime is Recovery of an MMO Junkie. It has been out for, I want to say, at least a year now. Little over a year
yeah.
now. Little over 3 years
yeah.
now. I watched it in
Yeah.
Sicily. And it was chosen by the wonderful Yami Brooks. So Yami, would you like to give us a short synopsis of the anime and why you chose it?
All right. So, Recovery of an MMO Junkie. It's not really a recovery of being an MMO junkie. It's recovering by being an MMO junkie. What is she recovering from? Corporate
Burnout.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, so Moriko Morioka, Mori, Hayashi, blah blah blahs, a woman of many names. She quit her corporate desk job thing where she was miserable and is now, what does she call herself? An elite neat?
Yes.
Yes.
She's a
Yes.
neat that has chosen neatness.
You might
Yes.
even say
I chose the neat life.
you might even say she has gone plus ultra neat.
You've been watching too much Hero Academia.
Look, I'm almost done.
There is no too much hair in My Hero Academia. So yes, she has chosen this life. She obviously was getting much better paid than I am because she has savings to fall back on. And
Apparently at least a
She-
year worth.
at least, and not only to survive on, but she upgraded that computer system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, she's doing pretty okay. She's not, going on extravagant vacations, but she's doing fine. Anyway. And yeah, she used to play an MMO that does no longer exist. I feel that. And just decided to join this new one. And she decides to play a male character, just because she's like, what does she say? Like, yes, super hot guy, done. And yeah. So that's the gist of the opening, yeah. Oh, and why did I choose it? It's wholesome.
That's fair.
So, as per usual, what we are going to do with this is we are going to start with what we liked about the anime of the first 4 episodes. We've watched the first 4 episodes of it. What we didn't like about the anime, and whether or not we will continue watching it from here.
I mean, I watched the whole thing several years ago.
I also have, and that will have an effect on my answer. But
right.
So
Good talk. Glad we had it.
of us here,
Sorry.
one of us has not seen all of it.
Indeed.
So Hatter.
I mean, you just want to call me out like that.
What? I did.
This is because I'm eating popcorn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gotta make sure that you get the biggest mouthful and then ask you a question.
What could go wrong?
Right?
If you're asking me to start then, which is what it sounds like you're asking me to do.
Yes.
Let's see. Things I like. And I'm not pausing because there aren't things I like. More of just like,
You hate it, don't you?
clearly.
My
That's why-
heart! Hatter hates everything I like!
I mean, basically, yeah. But consistently on this show, most shows do not pass the vibe check.
Yeah, we're picky.
Statistically.
We some peaky beaches.
Y'all are more picky than I am, apparently.
That's fair. You do statistically pick the most, vibe the most.
I do. Pretty
Um,
easy to please. I mean, let's be fair.
So, Recovery of an MMO Junkie. I really like the characters. I will say of like the story I've seen so far, because again I'm only 4 episodes in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a surprising plot.
No, it's not.
It's all just nope. That's how that's gonna play out.
Yep.
And yep, there it goes.
Yep.
But it's still well done. I will say to anyone who does watch the show, the odds of meeting people locally that also play the MMO you're on in the same server you're on are not that high.
To be
Boy howdy.
fair, I mean, you're not wrong, but to be fair, assuming they're playing on the Japanese server, Japan is a whole lot smaller than America. This would never happen in America. It's still never gonna happen in Japan.
Actually,
To this degree, okay? To this degree.
I have a friend who started playing an MMO, ended up hanging out with a character in the game, found out that they lived streets away from each other, ended up dating for the next few years.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying the odds are very low.
Oh yeah,
Extremely.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
I mean, look. I was in Florida virtual school for my last attempt at a few classes in high school. Spoiler alert: I didn't graduate high school, guys. I got my GED. But
Whatever.
yeah, like whatever. I'm a successful adult. It's fine. Everything's fine. Anyway, so I was in Florida virtual school for that because I live in Florida. In all of Florida, the entirety of Florida, the one person in my English class that I ended up talking to ended up living near me. We became friends outside of the English class, kept talking for several months. They invited me to a Taylor Swift concert at the Strawberry Festival. and then I got pregnant and I married them.
I was about to ask if it was who I thought it was.
Yeah.
On a similar note, we actually have our very first chatter, squee in excitement. Miss Evelyn says that she met somebody on Second Life and found out they were stationed at the same base.
Nice.
Okay, so I feel like Second Life is the coolest thing that I completely missed out on.
I don't know what that is.
Basically, it is kind of what the name implies. It was a alternate world that was based pretty heavily on this reality, but you could build a character that could look like anything, and you could go through and interact with people, do games, work, those kinds of things. You could live a second life.
Oh, I would have been all over that.
Yeah.
I hated my life.
I personally never really got the appeal of it, but I don't really like this reality, so I'm not really huge on another thing based on it. I live for fantasy.
I was an adult before I found out what Second Life was. I spent my, I guess, second life, so to speak, in the Yahoo chat rooms role-playing.
Oh, that was Doll Wizard for me.
That is on brand for you.
And oh my gosh, I'm sorry, if you have never created an elf, half-elf, /orc, /angel, insert mythical creature here, to go into a tavern wearing the cloak of midnight to cover your facial features and hide in the back corner of the tavern so that obviously no one would come and talk to you, expecting people to come and talk to you. Can you even say you haven't lived?
So a saying that I say quite often, and I'm actually planning to get this as a tattoo, is I have lived 1,000 lives. Because I play a lot of tabletop role-playing games, and boy howdy, I have played a lot of different characters. So,
yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to the anime,
right.
We're really good at getting off topic.
Look, MMO, Second Lives, we're still on topic, just not necessarily on topic with the anime at hand. What else did you like about it, Hatter?
I really like the art style. I think the art style is very good. I like it both in the reality and in the MMO. I know that this isn't the point of her character, but I think Mori is super cute.
She's totally
adorable.
Super cute.
I love how they animate her going from, the image of a successful desk worker person with the bun and the suit and everything, the manicured eyebrows and everything, and then you fast forward, her hair's unkempt, her eyebrows have grown out as stylized by the 3 lines rather than 1.
She looks exhausted.
She does. She plays MMOs till 5 in the morning. Yeah, she's exhausted, but she's a different kind of exhausted than she was before.
That happened one time.
No, it has happened one time that we saw live.
It happened one time that Lily stayed up that late too.
And that was a mistake.
Which was the problem because Lily had to go to work.
But to be fair, that was also the reason for other things.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a mistake.
But I really like the art design. I like the characters. Like I said, the story's not anything really new. You'll figure it out pretty quickly, at least the parts I've seen. But it's still told really well.
Right.
I find it really entertaining that she is playing a level 80 character and has 5 buttons on her hotbar. Bothers me on a personal level, but
she plays a fighter. She doesn't play magic and all that.
I
know still
I
there
am
should
resisting,
be more buttons. I saw the Final Fantasy 14 buttons. It's crazy.
I have 36 buttons on my hotbars when I play FF.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have
there was too much. That was one of the things that turned me off. It was just too much.
I have a way of explaining that, Hatter, that might, I don't know, it'll still cause you pain, but it might be a little better.
All right, I'm willing to see this out.
They are all hotkeyed.
That is and is not better.
And as is apparent by things that show in the episode, she is not a particularly amazing player.
Yeah, she's not great. I gotta be honest. Doing her best, which is
Right.
the point.
Which would make sense as to why she has hotkeyed her entire bar.
But continuing on, I really like her guildmates.
Oh, the guildmates are so great.
The guildmates are great, just supporting characters. I love them. Lily's super adorable, and Lily's IRL person, who I now have to go look up the name because I don't remember. Yuta, I think.
Sakurai. Yep.
Yeah, Yuta. He
Princess
is
Sakura.
also very cute.
Princess Sakura. I'm
Is that what the one guy kept calling him?
Yeah. Sakura
Yeah,
Janae.
so in the sub, we called her Sakura-chan.
Oh, Sakura
We
Chan.
call him Sakura-chan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm
Same thing.
really.
Yes, but no.
I mean, I know it's not the same. Same intentions, basically.
Yeah, he kept calling him Sakura-chan, and when he asked him why, he was just like, eh,
So
and just rolled with it.
Yeah.
I love that guy's personality though. He's
Yeah.
Mori Mori-chan.
Mori Mori.
But yeah, like, it's a good show. I don't think it's like groundbreaking, but
No,
I
it's
like
not.
I like what I've seen so far. I don't really have anything like negative to say about it, and I know that would normally come later, but like nothing really sticks out.
I feel like I was the bearer of bad news a lot last week, and if you guys
You
want
hated
to
everything.
hear my emotions, it is on a VOD up on this YouTube channel. But one of the things that I kept talking about was how frustrated I get with very episodic, low plot, very little plot, very like you could pick it up at any point and not be confused at all. And I feel like this anime is giving us a feeling of a slice of life experience, but also solving a lot of those issues because there is a base underlining plot. Even if it's not very deep, even if it's not very exceptional, you have this young woman who is extremely burnt out. She wasn't fired. She did quit. She has savings up. It looks like one of the reasons she might have so many savings is, I mean, she lives in a 1-bedroom, tiny apartment, and she doesn't really do much. She doesn't really have a lot of stuff either. So,
Right.
I
But
imagine...
also, I get the impression that, she was good at her job.
Yes!
She was
That-
good at
they
her job,
specifically
and
stated
that
that.
it seemed to be a well-paying job.
Which is why that's another reason that I'm like I definitely want to say that she was burnt out.
She did what she needed to protect herself mentally and emotionally. Like,
What's the guy's
Yeah.
name? Kolai specifically mentions that she was really good at what she did.
she wrote that one manual.
Yeah.
Like,
who goes? Who
what?
goes? All right, fam. I'ma quit this job. But I did. I've done that. But normal people do not write a whole heckin' manual surrounding how to do their job before quitting. Like most people don't have that level of care, and she
Right.
does. And
Right.
it feels like it is a recovery. It is kind of like what you were saying earlier, Yami. She is recovering from this extreme sense of burnout, and this MMO and the people that she meets within it are slowly going to heal her. I also get it reminds me of the Dot Hack series, not the heavy ones, but there was a series called Dot Hack Legend of the Twilight, which is in the same world as Dot Hack Sign. It happens like years and years afterwards, but all of the avatars are chibis.
They're adorable. Well,
And-
not all of them. Not all of them. The
most of
two main
them.
characters are chibis, and there's a lot of others that are not necessarily chibi, but definitely more cutesy. The entire art style is more cutesy.
And
Yes.
that is what this anime reminds me of visually.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, I mean, I agree with me, disagree with me, I don't know which one, but it is so heckin' nice to see a video game based anime where they're not stuck in the video game, where they didn't die and become part of the video game, where the video game, while being an entirely separate world that they get the chance to enjoy and explore, they can log off and go back to their real lives at the end of the day. They don't have to choose one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's being treated like it's supposed to be treated, like a healthy coping mechanism and escapism for real, actual people.
So what you're saying is you're tired of isekai.
It's not that we're tired of isekai, but not everything has to be an isekai, and not everything has to be if you die in the game, you die in real life. And
Well, a lot of MMO based isekai actually don't do that aspect.
I know. But it's just nice to have something that is comfy.
Yeah, it's
that's what this
refreshing.
anime is for me. It's comfy. It's not groundbreaking. It's not a super deep plot. It like both of you said, like you know what's gonna happen a mile away.
And if it doesn't, I'm gonna be upset.
No, it all happens.
I've seen it, but that's like it's more than just like I know what's gonna happen, because it was that way the first time I was watching it. There are certain things that you expect is going to happen, like you want it to happen this way.
We have more people in chat.
We do. I'm giving them a meet
Shadow.
I should have known they were one of yours.
Yes.
And I really liked that. And I love also all of the different personalities that are presented in just the first 4 episodes.
Yes.
I will admit. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I really vibe with Kanbei.
Which is that the guild leader?
He's the guild leader, yeah. I vibe with him a lot. Of just you could sell that and make a lot of money.
I know
Or don't dissolve the guild. That's such a waste of a high level guild.
Oh my gosh! So I felt that in my soul.
Yes.
Specifically,
It takes work to level up those guilds in time.
Okay. Story time. So,
Yes.
so Hatter knows the story. Hatter I think you were part of this story.
A bit.
I used to also play Final Fantasy XIV, and my husband plays Final Fantasy XIV. Oh boy, does he! And at one point, we were all part of another guild, and he had worked up an aspect of that guild, had put a lot of time and effort into building up something called the airship. And when we all left that guild to start a different guild, he lost all that and was reasonably upset. But then at one point we decided that we had a guild home and we wanted a different one, and so without thinking about it, we just bought a new house. And when this happened, the airship that he had painstakingly, from the ground up, rebuilt, was just gone.
No.
Because it is attached to the house.
No.
I do believe they patched that since then.
There's a way around it, if nothing else. Like, you're supposed to, like, go out of your way to dismantle it and take it with you, but we did not know that.
That sucks.
To add another MMO story that is slightly adjacent to that, though, if it was not for Final Fantasy XIV, I probably wouldn't have reconnected with Lulu and her husband Tsukasa.
You and I reconnected via streaming, my guy.
Well, sure, but like back when you were in Italy.
That's fair, yeah.
I started talking to Sean or Tsukasa because I was logging into Final Fantasy again, and it was the only way I could really talk to him. Like, yeah, we had texting, but like to be able to actually spend time with him, go run some dungeons, play some content together. And that was really important to me. And at one point, our guild leader just stopped logging on. And a fun thing about Final Fantasy is that once your guild leader has been offline for so long, that role automatically gets passed on to somebody else. And Tsukasa became became the guild leader and has been trying to pass it off to people since then.
As a clan leader in the MMO that I played, I had my own clan. It's sad when people stop logging on and you have no way of knowing what happened to them.
Oh yeah, no, that last logged on as it slowly becomes longer
Yeah.
and longer, and you're just sitting there going, "Are they alive?"
Yeah, no, legit. Like there was there was this one person that was in my clan. And uh they had cancer in real life.
Oof.
And I knew that, and we would go back and forth because I work in healthcare, so we would go back and forth exchanging knowledge, like, hey, yeah, this is what I do. Hey, yeah, I experienced that too because I have it done to me, and we're like, yeah, cool, and they played like very often because they were in the hospital a lot, and they played while they were in the hospital. Apparently that hospital had better internet than my hospital ever did. And one day they just never logged on again. Well, not one day. They at some point I realized that they had stopped logging on, and I never found out what happened.
Yep.
And yeah. But yeah, and of course now we don't have that game at all. So fun story, we first lost the North American server, and my clan and I, being a bunch of weebs, we were like, let's hop over to the Japanese server. And so we did. And that was a challenge. And we played there for a while until the entire game went under. And then then like there's a couple of them that I have on Discord, but yeah, I miss my peeps.
So to add on to that,
Mm-hmm.
the reason for a lot of us, and I'm gonna make assumptions here for you, Yami and Lulu, but
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of people, the reason why MMOs are so important to us was because for a very long time, there were no Discords, there were no Skypes, there was no easy way to talk to a lot of people.
And
But
even with
if
Skype,
every
Skype sucked. Sorry,
sure,
continue.
but you could log into this game
Yeah.
and just talk to your friends
Yeah.
anywhere they were. You could just talk to them and hang out. And you know, as we got more programs to start talking to people, as we got things like Discord and various other social media things, that became easier to do outside of those games.
Mm-hmm.
But for a very long time, it was, I'm going to go log into my MMO and talk to my friends.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm going to play the MMO, but I'm mostly there to talk to my friends.
And for some people, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, for some people, those friends were people that they were friends with in real life and such. I didn't have a lot of that. So my online community since I started being online as a teenager, that was my entire real life. I had a few friends in real life, but even them, because of my home situation, uh it was complicated and I was isolated, and so my entire real life was online. um and there's such a beautiful thing about online friendships in that you only create them with people that you connect with. In real life, you may connect with somebody because you're in the same class, or um you work together. You're in a position where you have to interact with this person. And maybe you form a connection with them and maybe you don't. And if you do, that's great. But there's something just so magical about relationships that you form with people based off of solely no
We're friends
there's
because
nothing
we vibe.
exactly. There's nothing about it where I had to interact with this person, so I did. And yeah.
I actually did not discover, well, not discover, but I could have used MMOs in my life when I was much younger, but
Mm-hmm.
my parents would not pay monthly fees for them. My mom would
Neither
not pay
did
monthly
mine.
fees. I never found any free ones. I got to play WoW for like 20 minutes a day for 4 days straight because my cousin had it and I was allowed to make a character on his computer, on his thing when I was at my grandparents' house. And I actually fell in love with it during that time. It was so much fun. But I had to leave and I got my character to level 20, guys. Like, it was a big deal then. But
I feel that. Yeah.
after
I'm
that
not gonna
point,
belittle it.
I would fall in love with the games. I would fall in love with the shows, but I did not get the chance to actually play WoW again until I was an adult. So for me, those interactions, those friendships, that second life, everything that you mentioned, Hatter and Yami, came from role playing through text in chat rooms.
Oh, I did that too. Yeah.
I was part of this forum called the Cabot Patch, and that place really felt like my home. Like there were the older players that just felt like, they were your older siblings, and the younger players you interacted with more, and it was just a very wholesome, wonderful place. And it got shut down. And then I went to the Yahoo chat rooms, and then the Yahoo chat rooms got modified, and I found out how to roleplay through there too. Meanwhile, I was on another chat forum called MIRC, Merc.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire time, like, I wasn't like texting people, but we were role playing, and I found a few little homes in certain chat rooms. That was a very, very big part of my real life online, because in-person friends were not an easy thing for me either.
Right.
Ha! Evelyn gets me. Evelyn knows. Hey, if you're ever willing to roleplay again, Evelyn, I would be down for that because I miss it a lot.
Yeah, I did all of my text-based role playing was Gaia Online as well as
Boy, howdy.
Doll Wizard. Doll Wizard was an interesting site. Doll Wizard was a site where you could go and dress up dolls. But it had a thriving forum community where you could use your dolls that you dressed up as your character image or whatever, or not. You could completely ignore the fact that there were dolls on that site completely. And that was the primary place that I role played along with my partner and our friends. Oh, it was all so cringy. So back then they had made a their big RP that they made was based on Code Geass, and the idea of Code Geass at least, and like there were two brothers, they were both in line for some inheritance or whatever, so they played one, and then another person in our group played the other, and then each of those people had a bodyguard, and so I was the bodyguard of the other brother against my partner. At this time we were not dating yet. But it was hilarious. She was a ninja. She was part of a ninja clan, and she had been with that person since childhood, training to protect them, because that's totally what happens. It was so bad.
I mean, look, none of us are proud of our first character.
Oh, that wasn't my first.
Well, sure, but you know what I mean.
It was glorious. It was glorious and it's cringe, and I love it.
Look, they weren't meant to be good. They were meant to be fun.
Yes. We're talking about anime.
Well, but this is all relevant.
Yeah,
It is.
I feel like it's very relevant. Let's see, what else do we've gushed quite a bit of time over what we have liked about this anime. Is there anything we don't like?
Hold on, before we move away from likes.
Okay.
Cause alright, so I love the representation of like them talking and them using emotes and stuff. Like, we're watching it and it's fully animated for us, but it's really not. Like, there's a point where Hayashi is crying, like just regular crying. We're seeing that, and then Lily's like, "Please stop spamming the crying emote," and we see Morioka just tapping the button. Like, yeah, that's right. These people can't actually hear these voices. We're seeing it all, but this isn't what's actually happening, and I love it. I love it. It, like, you know that, but it's the anime decides to ignore that and give us a smooth transition to, oh yeah, this is what's happening, and we're going to show that to you visually. But remember, this isn't actually what's happening.
The transitions between this is the real world and this is the gaming world are chef's kiss.
Yes. Going AFK. It was great.
It's a very well done show.
It is.
Yes. It's very simple. It's very cozy. It's very wholesome. But it is beautiful, and I love it. But yeah, okay. Now we can move on.
We can go into what we don't like about it?
Yes.
All right.
Don't mind me. I was just editing my entire YouTube setup while you guys were talking.
Wow, I've attained my true form. I love it. I'm the one in charge of the actual afterwork image. So every time Lulu Soul types, you guys will see Afterwork Anime Club for now.
Mm-hmm.
Until I figure out.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Let's see, things we didn't like.
I don't really have anything. Like, I guess I could complain that the story is not that deep, but like, I don't care.
It doesn't need to be. Like,
yeah.
It does what it intends to do, and it does it well.
Yeah, it does. It gets its point across, and the point isn't to have like a deep, complex story or to have like these really like impressive, like deep, complex characters. The point is, this is the story. These are the characters for this story. And I'm okay with that. But like I said, I don't really have like any like thing where I'm like, wow, I really didn't like that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, same. I really don't. There's nothing about it that I dislike. It's so cute and it's so wholesome, and it's a cozy comfort anime. I like it.
Let's see. If we had to like find something, I think I would like to see more. I mean, I've just mentioned a lot. Like, I love the transitions and everything, but I would like to see more about the actual in-game world. Like, so far, we know that it has dungeons, it has loot boxes.
Yeah, that does.
Strong feelings.
But it has but the loot boxes seem to be aesthetic, which I do like. But it has loot boxes. There are dungeons. I think there are special events, but I'm not sure.
It looks like there's like
the
seasonal
Christmas
events.
event. Yeah.
So like they have definitely created a world, and even the world isn't really the focal point, which is fine. But I
still want to know more.
Yeah, I would have liked to see a little bit more in the first few episodes in reference to this world and what it's about.
Yeah, that's fair. I really was expecting just a little bit more MMO.
Yeah.
And like, I understand why we don't have a ton of MMO. Like, because again, that's not the focus. It's a vehicle for the plot and the characters. But I kind of would like to know a little bit more, because like that's kind of like, as an MMO junkie, I look at the hotbar and see like, Why are you level 80 with 5 buttons?
Look, I explained that already.
Sure, you
that
gave
would have
me
been me.
possible explanations.
My head
Look.
canon.
I was level 80. I had like I had only a few things that I did, and half the time I wasn't even using a weapon because it used up my durability so bad. And oh my god.
But so
Anyway.
there's, as a whole, I think it's a really good show.
It is.
I think it's very wholesome. I think the characters are good. Like, yeah, I'd like to know a little bit more about the MMO itself, but
I honestly expected watching these few episodes would make me want to go and pick up Final Fantasy again. It hasn't, which was a shock for me.
I mean, I think if it was more focused on the MMO, maybe. But really, this is more focused on the connections.
Yeah, like what being part of the MMO brings. And it's entirely possible that if they spend more time focusing on the MMO, then we would have lost other elements of the show that makes it so personable.
Absolutely.
For me, like if I still had that game that I played, then this would make me want to go and play it. Everything makes me want to go and play it because I loved that game. But as I don't have that game, the closest thing to what I had with it was my Discord family and my Twitch family. So I get that still through them. So yeah. Oh, one thing I would like to go back to. Back to things I liked. So he decides at one point. Morioka as Hayashi decides at one point to get her a crystal rose, which is a rare drop from this one quest. And she tries so hard.
A super
and
rare
got
drop
so far,
that
but in the end, it didn't really
it
matter.
cannot be purchased. In the end, it doesn't really matter.
She didn't get the crystal rose, but she got a lesser item, which was super adorable and fits Lily's aesthetic. And that's, you're not always gonna get the rare drop. None of these characters are OP. Like, some of the other guild mates are better than Hayashi, definitely. But none of them are super OP. Lily is a great healer, but you can't solo dungeons as a healer.
I definitely get the vibe that their guild exists for the relationships that they are gathering.
Absolutely. Like, Kanbei makes a point of the whole you don't throw away a max level guild, but then Lily is like, was it Lily who was talking about it? I don't remember. Whoever said it was like, I don't think he really did it for the max level guild, though. I think he really did it so that he could keep us all together, because not everybody can log in all the time, but we're still a family. And I love that.
Yeah. A brief thing about my FF guild again. We have people in my FF guild that have been offline for over 500 days.
Mm-hmm.
And
look, don't call me
we've
out.
brought it up to our guild lead, who is Tsukasa, Lulu's husband, and been like, "Hey, do you wanna take those people out of the guild?" And he goes, "No, because what if they log back on? We're
And
here."
that has happened.
It has.
That would have been me. Like, I've talked about this recently with some of my other online family, in that my current stint of online presence is the longest that I've ever had, and not just my online presence, but my relationships in general. I have a tendency to go MIA for extended periods of time, and I haven't done that recently, like in the past year, and I am pretty proud of that. But I have done that in the past, and it is heartening to have people still, care that you exist after not saying a word to them for 5 years. I'm sorry, my IRL friends.
I'm sure it's fine.
I mean, Yami, you and I hung out a little bit at the comic shop.
Mm-hmm.
We basically stopped existing for each other.
I don't even remember how, like, I guess we must have added each other on Facebook, I guess? Because,
yeah. Oh,
like...
I remember how.
Oh?
I don't know if you want me to remind you.
Do it. Do it. Is it cringy? Definitely do it.
It was when you were peddling Mary Kay.
Oh god!
And you had asked me to advertise it to my friends.
Oh my god, don't do Mary Kay, guys. Don't do MLMs. Please don't. I was a dumb 19-year-old. Don't do it. But I am grateful that as a result of that mistake, that I did get to have you years later as a contact to be able to talk about anime.
We made friends.
I am very happy to have met you, Yami, through Lulu.
Yay! Oh god, Mary Kay.
Look, I told you might not want to be reminded.
Oh no, I'm never gonna hide from the cringe. I still have Mary Kay stuff.
So does my grandmother. I think she might have finally given up on the fact that, or realized that it probably expired like before I was born. But
anyway, sorry.
That being said, I know not really the topic, but my Nana did share something about Mary Kay with me when I was younger that has always stuck with me. And that is, makeup doesn't exist to hide your flaws. If that is the way you are using it, that's fine, but that's not its greatest ability. The greatest ability of makeup is to find the beauty that you already possess and bring it to the forefront.
Like, I used to be really self-conscious about my looks in so many different ways. And like now it's like I couldn't care less. But when I do want to amp things up a little bit, I don't use foundation. I don't try to cover everything up. I will exaggerate my eyes because I like my eyes. That's one of the features that I actually like about myself. I like my eyes, and yeah. And as far as other people who are much better at makeup than I am, watching a person turn their face into a canvas and a work of art,
amazing.
Dear God. Like, you're not trying to hide anything. You're just trying to create the coolest, most epic look that you can, and I'm here for it.
Now, first of all cosplayers are magical and amazing. And Evelyn, I agree, eyes are gorgeous. But the cosplayers that add elements using makeup and body paint are out of this world.
Yes, they are magicians.
I have legitimately been on TikTok, and I have been like scrolling through TikTok. I'm like, wow, this cosplayer is really great, but I don't remember adding them. And so I'll go and look through their videos, right? And I'm like, oh no, I did. They just looked completely different a second ago.
Right.
But
so I hate to be that guy, but
Okay.
Go back.
Look, somebody has to be the cat wrangler.
Yes.
So we have talked about things that we liked, things that we not so much liked. All like 2 of them. I mean, Yami, you've already finished it. So I guess for myself and Yami, the question is going to be, is it worth a rewatch? And Hatter, are you going to keep up with it? Does it pass the vibe check?
So for me, it is definitely something I am going to finish at some point, but it's not something I feel like I need to watch now. And I feel like part of that is because of the way it's portrayed and how it's done. There's no real feeling of urgency of, well, I gotta see what happens next.
Oh, what's gonna happen next? But when you're ready for a comfort show, it'll be there waiting for you.
And there's nothing wrong with any of that.
Yeah.
It's just, will I watch it? Yes. Will I go and watch it right now? No, probably not.
I understand that.
And I feel that because when I first watched it, I think it has like 12 episodes. It has
10, I think.
It's short.
Yeah,
it's
super, super short. There was that one, and there was another one airing very close to the same time frame. Wodakai?
Brief interrupt. Apparently there's an OVA?
The what?
It's a wrap up. It's a little wrap up episode thing.
Okay, it's listed as an OVA, so.
Oh, Wotakoi.
Oh, Watakoi.
Yeah,
Watakoi. That was
Love is Hard for an Otaku.
Yeah.
That
I watched like 2 episodes of that.
That one you need the full 4 episodes to fall in love with, but it is very good.
Okay.
She gets better.
Okay.
But I found both of those shows around the same time. I think they were airing at the same time, maybe even.
Probably.
And it was in a point of my life where I was burnt out. I was a new mother, I was living with it was my family and I. We were living in Sicily, so I didn't have any of my surrounding family. It was my husband, my daughter, and myself. We had a few friends, but no matter how close you get to someone, and sometimes when you are moving from place to place, you have about 4 years max, usually less, and that's a very short time period for the amount of support you need from someone when you're having your firstborn child.
Right.
So I was going through a lot at the time, and it was the perfect time for me to find this show of, first off, this adult woman in her 30s. Thank you, universe. More anime
For
of
real.
that, please.
Yes.
Like, we grew up, but we're still here. Hello. Hi, Foxern. But it was really nice to see someone that I could identify with on a personal level, and it was nice to see them bringing themselves out of where they were. And she does. Spoilers. The anime is about her slowly getting better. As for a rewatch, look, guys, I'm like 107 episodes into My Hero Academia. I can't stop now, not even for another watch through of this.
Hey, again, comfort anime. I will 100% watch this anime again, probably more than once, but not right now.
Yeah,
I got too much going on.
This is the anime that you pull down from the shelf when you want to hot chocolate, cozy blanket, maybe a good friend, and just not think for a little while.
Yeah.
So, kinda? It kinda passes the vibe check.
Yeah.
This is the comfy check.
If it were currently airing, I don't know if I would continue watching it as I am now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. At the time when it came out, I watched it with my partner. We watched it as it came out, and we finished it as it came out. So, yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is our, I guess, review of sorts of the first 4 episodes of MMO Junkie. That being said, Hatter, you have chosen for us an anime to watch.
In fact, I have. I even set up a new account so that we could watch it. and I'd even be willing to potentially watch the first episode with you two, just to get your reactions to it.
I'm so interested to find out what this is going to be.
I've talked about it a couple of times, but people won't be able to perceive those for a while, if ever. No offense, Lulu.
Wait, what?
I've talked about it in previous episodes that have never been edited.
Look.
I know that you've talked about something on this show, on this website that you mentioned, but I don't remember what it was.
I can absolutely just load up the past episodes. So for those of you in the chat I'll tell the story afterwards. Hatter, anime, go, tell us.
The anime is your boy Kong Ming.
I'm so excited.
Okay.
And I watched the first episode earlier just to make sure. I signed up for a 14-day free trial and then did all that other stuff. You know how it is. But I watched the first episode, and even knowing the premise, which is a really weird premise, and I'll give you guys the short version. I love it. It feels really good. The short version of the premise is the Chinese tactician from the Three Kingdoms era, aka the Dynasty Warriors era, for those of you wanting to look into that. Zhuge Liang, also known as Kong Ming, is brought to modern day Japan. He doesn't know anything about it. He's not Japanese, but he can speak fluid Japanese. He doesn't know why.
Wait.
And he meets a girl who can sing.
Wait. So, what you're saying, Hatter, is you have us watching a reverse isekai.
Kinda. It's closer to a reincarnation, but he doesn't go through any of the kid stuff. He just goes from being old and dying to his physical peak, and is like, wait, I look like when I was younger. Oh, this is kind of nice. But he also spends 15 minutes of the first episode being like, I died and went to hell. This is just hell.
I feel that.
So I won't talk too much more about it here, but I really like it, and it also admittedly has the Giguk seal of approval.
All right.
I mean,
but yeah.
Who can go wrong with the boys? One of the boys.
But yeah, I will definitely talk to you too about potentially at least getting your reactions for the first episode, because it's a lot. It feels good.
So the story that Hatter was low key, so subtly teasing me about, is originally I was going through the process of editing these YouTube videos, editing these videos to shorter 20-minute segments, and putting them on YouTube, and I was putting a whole lot of time and effort and love and attention into them, and I realized that I cannot do that amongst all of the other things that I have been trying to do art-wise. And the way I found that out was we now have a backlog of about probably 4 to 6 episodes that have never seen the light of day. Because of that, we have decided to start live streaming these on their very own YouTube channel, the channel that you see here before you. Please think about liking and subscribing. Yeah, okay, I went there.
Hit that.
We're real subtle.
Like the video.
If you want to, be live for these again in the future. But
yeah.
So they're going to be here now, and I will not be editing them as of right now. I may in the future decide to return to the idea of editing them. But as of right now, they are going to be here in all of their raw glory for anyone who so wishes to peruse.
Which is completely understandable, and I don't mean anything bad about what I said.
You hate me!
You are occupied.
A little bit.
Lulu, you're the worst.
I am the worst.
This is why no one likes you.
Why don't you have any friends, Lulu?
Rude!
I mean, that's a bit far, but damn.
Rude!
Alright, well, I guess
We love
I know
you.
who's not getting the high dive login.
No, you have put in a tremendous amount of love and attention and effort into this entire project, and I am super here for it. However you decide to do that, whether you go back and edit these at all, or not. I don't care because I'm having the time of my life. And this has been great.
We literally wouldn't be here without you.
Oh,
Mhm.
you guys are sweet.
I prefer the term suck up, but yeah.
Shit.
My work here is done. I am a hat. Hi guys, I'm Hatter. I'm a shark in a top hat. Remember me fondly.
I'm Lulu Soul. I stream things and make words happen.
I'm Yami Breck. I also stream things with words. And as Fox has pointed out, I am Mom.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out and stopping by, and we will see you next week.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.